How's it going, ScrubGamers? Welcome back to another video here at ScrubGames, and for today we're going to go over my tournament report for the UKGE events, but I'm going to split this up into two because at the UKGE there were two regional events, one on the Friday and one on the Sunday, and I took part in both of them. So I'm going to go off with the first one being the Friday, and then we'll have tomorrow you'll have the video out covering my tournament report for the Sunday. Because they were both quite long days and both big events, and I took a different deck to each of them as well, just like Big O and quite a few other people did as well. So for these events, I ended up not knowing what I wanted to take beforehand. I had quite a few decks I wanted to play, but I didn't know what I wanted to take part, because it was going to be a weird format where we had the ban list in effect, but no, not the new set. So we knew we weren't going to have any King Piccolo or Gogeta Zeno really popping up, but there's still some strong decks coming over, and it opened up a few more decks that were like oppressed by those two that were hit. And I had quite a few choices. I had like King Cold, Red Jiren, Blue Bojack, Hatchyak, Sin. Like I had quite a few different things, and also I wanted to play quite a few decks as well. Like all those decks I wanted to play, wanted to try out. Some more confident than others, but I just couldn't make a decision, so I thought I'll leave it up to my viewers and my Discord users to vote, to pick which ones, vote on which one they preferred, and then the top two I would take, and well, depending on how I felt, I'll take one for each, for one day and one for the other. So I put up the video, people voted on that, I put in the Discord, people voted there as well, and it ended up being the top two being voted for was Blue Bojack and Red Jiren. So I had the lists, I'd all set up, and I took those to the event. And when it came to it, because we knew some judges on the people that were judging, and it seemed like there was going to be a lot more people on the Friday than the Sunday, and it seemed like Friday's going to be more competitive, so I decided to go to one of those decks which I was a lot more confident in, being Red Jiren, which I was a lot more confident in, and plus it could be very aggressive as well. And from my testing, it has a very good matchup against Yellow Jiren, not Yellow Jiren, Yellow Trunks, because it can always bait out the 3-drop Trunks if you go first. They're on 2 energy when you go into your turn 3, and you aggro them. And yeah, as I was saying, you can easily bait out the Yellow Trunks with the leader's effect by taking a life, but the 1-drops, people don't seem to want to attack the leader, which is fine for me when playing. So that baits that effect, even if they got Poutine and Trunks, baits out both of them, and then you can then go on to drop everything you want and just go ham. And but I hadn't tested the U7 matchup with it, so that was the only out of the two most the meta decks expected, being U7 and Trunks. It had a very strong one against the more annoying one, because Yellow is very difficult to go against for any deck really. And the red matchup, it was just hoping and praying and going for, and I did kind of have a side deck Fury for it, and it paid off because I did not lose to a single U7 deck the whole weekend with your deck. So that was fun. And yeah, so I went with Red Jiren. It was 8 rounds. Well, yeah, we got to the Thursday, got there early, so we didn't have to worry about traveling up on the Friday morning, because that would have been a hassle. And so we got there Thursday, got set in, had a nice little scavenger hunt looking for our key to get into our place we were staying at, which is didn't seem great at the time, but looking back now it's quite fun. And got there and just went off, got some supplies for the weekend, did a bit of testing at trading beforehand. And we had to wait for, like, 2 of us got there, me and Big O. We got there because we went up there to get the keys for the apartment, and we had to wait for the other 2 to turn up, but they didn't turn up until about 3 o'clock because they came just for a wedding. So I had to wait up until 3, get all set in, get all sorted, like everyone unpacked and stuff, and then go to sleep if we did sleep. So I ended up sleeping for about 2 hours before the event. So going from falling asleep around about 4, waking back up at 6 because Big O's got his alarms that he loves not to sleep through, not such. But I was able to get up because I'm not too bad. I'm more of a morning person, so I was able to get up, get all ready, get prepared, and just be sat there waiting and get prepared for it. I managed to get in there all fine. I had a little bit of a wait for the passes and get in there, and it turned out that while we were rushing to get there on time and stuff, it didn't start on time because where there's so many people and people have to wait for passes getting and stuff like that and do deck lists, we had to. It was quite late. I can't remember how late it started, but it started quite a bit later than it was meant to start. And we found out we had 8 rounds, which was going to be, and with a lunch break in between as well. So it was a very, very long day because it was best of 3 format with 70-minute rounds of 5 minutes of time, and it was just a very, very long day, especially on 2 hours sleep. It was a very, very long day. So throughout the whole event, I just had my sunglasses on, apart from when I was playing, just to keep the light in my eyes so I didn't get a headache, and yeah, just taking them off while I play so then I can focus a bit more and avoid getting a headache. Because when I've had a headache before playing the game, you just can't concentrate properly and you start making mistakes. I wanted to avoid that because I wanted to try and do well with at least Jiren. I was confident with Jiren, not so much with the Bojack because I was quite rusty, but I wanted to at least make sure I was doing well on the Friday. But yeah, I ended up going in the end 7-1 with Red Jiren. So going all the way up into top cut, being one of the only 4 undefeated by the end of it, and yeah, only losing to the eventual winner of the event, Axel Bell, fantastic player playing yellow trunks, and ended up getting the 4th place, getting a box, won the playmats, won each of the winner promos we get, or the alternative art promos, and he just had a fantastic day. And with it, we'll go through the list first. So this is the list I used. So I had the leader. I went with the topper. I do enjoy playing the topper unison because I feel it adds a bit more. Because I found sometimes when I'm allowed to and get the markers up on it, when I was testing it at Fest, I found I managed to get up quite a few markers where people left it alone, and I was able to use the -3 just to push the burn of damage to make it so I had less damage to do just by get to -7. Didn't really use it for anything else. -7, make him take a life, burn him a life, and then put on pressure. Just keep swinging and swinging with things. Get him down to 2, then you got the 8-drop Jiren just goes ham. And I made sure to put 4 of each of the Jirens, and then 4 because I've got a target so I whiff less. And yeah, just there to keep advantages, because they all plus you in some way, because you get them with the leader's effect. You got the searcher that helps you search for the pieces you might need. The draw ones just to help draw for your deck, and then 4 of each of the evolved Jirens apart from the 8-drop, because it is a 1 cost 10k where the plus 0 costs 5, and also handy just to help the 4-drop removal with minusing. 5-drop Jirens where your aggro comes in with just dual attacking 19k, especially if you play one and already have one on the board, you can make the everyone 20k, so it's not as easy to out combo with his attacks. Then the 8-drop being how I finish, just dropping it down, your barrier removal as well, and just putting a lot of pressure. And even after using that, as long as you evolve twice and then use the 8-drops effect to restand it, you make your leader a 30k base, which is very, very strong. And then we have the little unison package with 3 Yamcha and one King Piccolo, because there's only 1. Just to add that we're playing the top of unison, so we can add those to help make use of it. Because people were going for some reason making the mistake of going from a unison, because the unison doesn't matter to the strategy. It's just there turn 1 to. It's just there to give me access to Yamcha, which was helpful if I had it. But I didn't always have Yamcha to go to unison, and just to give me access to Piccolo if I drew it. But people seem to keep going for that rather than go for my leader to push my damage in to make me awaken earlier. Because when I awaken at turn 3, that's fantastic because I got 4 energy on that turn, which helps with dropping the 5-drop Jiren and then the 8-drop, using the 3 energy for that, and then having that extra energy, say for Kai, or just as if something else I need for combo power, or even for Koitsukai for when I go to push it in. And So it left me at the leader, so I could awaken on turn 3 by using leader's effect and just swing at the top of the unison, which did nothing really. Then we had the tech cards being 2 copies of Brody Crown, just useful against any deck that leaves 2 energy open. It was useful against yellow to see if they leave energy open, you can have a look at their if they've got any riposte, you can get rid of them. And then Vegeta Resolve Renewed to help deal with floodgate negates, stops most of them from coming in. Raditz being the great, fantastic super combo. And then 1 copy of Kai, because it's just nice to use to help finish off, especially because if you get your leader to be in a 30k base, pushing through with a leader, or even a unison or something else, just add that double strike when you get the 2, it's just too good not to use. Then I was running 3 copies of the Jiren to play the 2-drop, 1-drops from the drop, just adds extra pressure. It's like it just, and the worst is turning your 5k in hand to a 10k on board. So basically turning 5k combo power into 10k, which is extremely good value. Or even just getting yourself some active mode 1-drops, so you can evolve on those to be able to attack with them. And then Koitsukai being a great card for against certain decks, or even decks that have floodgates. Just to say, if you want a floodgate or drop anything on my turn while I'm trying to kill you, you get punished by reducing your hand size, which is great for me. And then the other red cards, any extra card I play with testing opposition, just fantastic negate live as soon as I'm on turn 5, just to protect myself and be able to kind of prevent 2 attacks from connecting to my lead or something I wanted to save, which is great. And then for my overall and secret rare, Pan, easily the best secret rare, one of the best secret rares in the game. Well, I reckon generically it is the best secret rare in the game at the moment. Just fantastic value, being able to be a free counter play to basically be a pseudo hatch for any deck, as long as you got the certain amount of cards on board, because it counts yours and your opponent's. Or even just being a free 40k body to attack with, because you can spam a board, and this is amazing. And then we did get hit. They did hit the generic unisons, being Fighting Against Fates and Secret Identity. So like every deck had to figure out like what they want to replace, if they wanted to just drop overwhelms completely in their deck or change it to something else. And before I had Fighting Against Fates, I was adding extra pressure to 25k swings, was great. So I switched up for, I remember people were going on about Man on a Mission being the next best one, but then that's a 20k overwhelm. Like, it's got double strike crit, that's more of an early turn, which I wanted my overwhelm to help push to finish off the game, not use early, because you're not in this deck in Jiren, you don't get enough in your drop to overwhelm early. So I went with Finger Eating because it's a 30k, which is a good amount of attack, 30k in your overwhelm, and added some extra value by making your opponent warp a card from hand, so they've got less cards in hand. Sure, they can warp something that's dead in the hand, but still, you don't know what's in the hand, so you're still reducing the hand as well. And that was the main deck. And the side deck, I had 2 Mai, so this was like blue hate, because everyone knows I hate blue. And it was also useful for U7 as well, because my idea for U7 was if I can get my pan, if I go second at least, if I can get my pan to hand and like find these Mayas, play them on the board, and leave my opponent with having at least 1 battle card. If they do then go U7 to if they drop the U7 Goku to wipe my board of my Jirens I have assembled, that U7 Goku doesn't touch barrier cards, so I can have those 2 pans. And then if I have those 2 pans on board, the battle card I would have left on the battle area and that Goku, that reduces my pan to 0, so as soon as they attack with the U7 Goku, I can negate with the pan, so they can't attack with any more. Should I get the attack still gets to go through, which is absolutely fine, because I should hopefully keep myself above 2 life before then. And then it's on board, the U7 can't attack again, so it's in active mode because it's got dual attack. Sure, it rips that card from my hand, but the pan's on board, and that leaves me with a 40k attack, because they're normally tapping out by turn 4 for that. It leaves me with a 40k pan to attack with, then sack it off to take the U7 Goku to have 2 attacks with that, and then also still be able to drop my own U7 like 8-drop chain again quite easily, because it's very easy to set that up, and then finish them off that. So that's my plan for that. The might just help be able to use my pan to finish in that situation. And then I had 2 more copies of Broly Crown, just in case against blue decks or any deck where I want to just like had floodgates, so I can rip them out of the hand. It was easy to take out, say, the Revolve renewed if I didn't need it, or say for example the Quartz Skies if I didn't need. There it is very easy to decide in most things. Then I had the Mechie in there to deal with linear decks, or decks where I wanted to stop a certain thing from coming down. So like most of the time it come in against U7. If I need to place the Quetzalcoatl to basically just call the, if I got a board, or like, depending on what I know they have or feel they might have on the turn 4 to stop the either the 8 drops, the Vegeta or the Goku. Then I had the Bardock fully unleashed as the switch out for the Overwhelmed if I needed it. So if I went up against a deck where they had a load of 6 drop or higher battle cards to play, like mainly U7, sometimes Blue Bojack if they get the 8 drop out, and also Hatchak that turn, I can get rid of both of them. And even against aggro Sin, like Sin Shen on as well. So that'd be the switch out for Vegeta. And then I had two Shu as well, which is at the end, to help deal with things like the Android 16 in 16. For a yellow Sin, yellow Trunks to be able to, if I'm going first, I can leave the energy open. So when they be able to play their 1 drop to have on board, stop it from even getting hand and drop it, so you can then pressure turn 2, and then they've got less energy to use on their turn 2 if they want to establish the yellow Trunks or something else. And then we got the Violent Rays and Wolfhound Fist. Wolfhound Fist is to deal with little things that they could attack with, just to help deal with certain attacks, and plus in combination with your leader's effect to evolving your opponent's turn using the 4 drop, you can use that to get rid of 25k attackers. That was quite fun. Or even fully get rid of 40k battle cards with the 8 drop Jiren and Wolfhound Fist. And then you got Violent Rays to deal with anything that just has 20k, so you want to stop, like mostly U7 Jiren to stop the 8 drops from attacking, be it Sin and stuff like that. But that was my whole list. And so with the, if I can remember my matchups now, so to summarize, this is really how most of my games throughout the day went. It basically went like this. That is essentially how my games went. So round 1, I was against a brand new player from, I think, I can't remember his name now, but he's a brand new player. He was taught how to play by Adam Evans from Swansea. Shout out to him, great guy. And he was brand new to play, so I basically just walked for it slowly, try not to be too aggressive. So he was playing OD, like basically just trying to make sure I explained my cards so he knew, and explain, like, help with, because he was brand new, didn't too much, like was making a few mistakes with the combo step, just when damage happens, when like combos stuff, so just helping him through that. Ended up taking that 2-0, and having the first game winning against a new player allowed me to relax, like help the guy out, and also get my head in the game, just like get the confidence building. And then round 2, I played against a U7 Goku. So this was the first U7 Goku I played, so I had to work out how the matchup went. And I think I won game 1. So I think I might have won the die roll. I can't remember too much about it because it was all the way back on Friday. We had like a lot of Dragon Ball over the weekend. But I went against U7. It ended 2-1. So I can't remember if I went first, second. I don't think I went first that many times throughout the event. I think I might have. I ended up taking it 2-1, just learned from the matchup, just to learn for the first game to how to deal with it, because I went against a different U7, a different build of U7 throughout the event. I had 5 U7s across the weekend. I had one with the focusing on the using Topo negates to defend to later. One using I think it was this one, using Topo negates to hold off for a bit. One running 2 specified cost unisons, one running 3 specified cost unisons, one running no unisons at all, and one running a funky build, which is on Sunday, which we'll go over in the next video. But for this one, I'm taking it 2-1, and then round 3, I was against another U7, against a guy from the Bristol area, for which I'm from, Vijif, I think his name is. And I played against him before. I played against him at the Cardiff Fest, and in this one, I think he learned from So I think he learnt from the first game. Just managed to. He was always never trying to pressure my leader, which was fine. He was just kept on my thing, so I was able to keep getting advantage. And I think he learnt from that and started going for more for my lead in the second game. Managed to take it. So I think because he was just able to clear my board more, and I wasn't drawing as great. And then in the third game, I just went ham. I think I was going first, went ham, and then just pushed through as much as I could. I think the aim was to get him to 4, and then from 4 energy push him down to 2 with 8 drop. And then when he was able to Divine Presence, I could still go through that because he's not getting attack, he's still going through. He's on 2 life, and I just went ham and went on the final swing. So I ended up taking that 2-1. And then for round 4, I played Yellow Trunks against Joe Dunform. Fantastic guy, like a great guy, really good player, and just it's just pity with the RNG. So this is a game I won more really due to RNG because I drew fantastically, whereas Joe drew absolutely terribly. Like I think throughout the whole thing, so I ended up taking it 2-0 because it's an easy matchup for Yellow Trunks. I found with Red Jiren because you can bait the leader's effect by using the leader's bait the Yellow Trunks, the free drop, by using the leader's effect to take a life, play a 1 drop, and that baits out any Poutine or Trunks on there because it's already in rest mode and it's been played. That's the first thing you play. And then I think when the die rolls fell, I was able to pressure really early, get to my turn 3 and pressure really well. And both games I saw all 4 of my super combos, where you only saw 1 super combo being the Zamasu, so you didn't even get the draw from that. But you get the draw match rest my leader. I can't remember how. I think I just aggressed on the first game, and on the second game it came down to we only had 5 cards in life. He was able to token negate my 8 drops attack, leaving it on 2 life, and the only attacks I had left were my Unison and my 8 drop, which I could restand. And he was I decided I had the Kai in my hand as super combo, so I decided to go with swing with my Unison because it was on 10k because I rolled that turn. And he decided to leave the blocker open for my 8 drop because the 8 drop's more promising. It still had a chance to attack. And I just went ham on the Unison because he only had 5 cards in hand. I had multiple super combos, and I went up to I think 80 or 90k or something like that to finish him off with double strike on my Unison. So I was able to finish that off, going 2-0. And then round 5, I played against my buddy and teammate Ollie, Big O Notation. He was on Blue Bojack, and we played that on stream as well. I think we were on table 2, and they did come over to say, "Do you want to play a game on stream?" And they convinced, and Ollie, my buddy, and other teammate Biscuit, both convinced me to actually go on stream and play it out. And yep, I had a fun game. I lost a die roll, so I was like, "Oh no, it's already over." And game 1 he was able to control quite well because it can always, Blue Bojack can always combo out of things very easily. He's got a lot of ways to combo out of any swing. It just feels like he's got too much combo power and easy defense, while also taking advantage how Yellow Apes used to do by playing things on your turn and controlling your board. So game 1 is able to hold out and then amass a board, and then he was able to extend on 1 turn, baby hatch the turn after because I was able to see the air baby hatch from a Brody Crown, but I wasn't able to force it out when I tried to, so he was able to get to his turn, amass a board and not worry, and then the next turn just baby hatch out to end my turn and just finish me next turn. And then game 2 I went first and just went in, basically just pushed, get him down to finish him off as early as possible. And then on turn 3 he drew really bad. I think from I managed to drop 3 Crown of Retributions on him. The second one at least, he had to managed to avoid me using it to rip a card out by using his energy to stop the effect. But on the first one I was able to look at his hand, rip out, see he had 2 super combos and just extra cards, so I just ripped out super combos so he had less of those. And on the last one I did, I was able to look at his hand, see what he had, look at how much combo power he had, and rip out a piece of that to his hand, and knew how that was able to finish if I went to a certain amount. He had a certain amount of combo power. I could finish if I went all in with a swing to that much. and ended up winning the game on stream as well, which is nice. It's just a pity we can't see the VOD because they didn't save the VOD for the day. So that left me at 5-0, and then I came against Yellow Trunks, being piloted by Axel, in round 6. And this is where the RNG helped me in round 4. It came back to bite me in the ass in this one, because I won the die roll. So it's like, so even Axel said like, "Oh, it's over, you've won," because we've played before. I know that if I go first, like Red Jiren goes first, it just like obliterates Yellow Trunks. So game 1, I was able to just get through my turn 3 and just obliterate him. We only had 2 energy, and I just managed to pound down. And in game 2, he was able to go first. He was able to survive later on past my turn 3 to actually keep going later and just control my board, just grind on my resources and finish me off. And then in game 3, I was going first, and normally that would mean that I'd be absolutely fine, that would be over. But for the life of me, RNG just struck, and I wasn't able to get. I had my 8 drop, and I was able to get 1 drops on board, but I wasn't able to see the pieces to allow me to get from my 1 drop to my 8 drop to like just go hammer finish him off. Like I couldn't find my searcher. I was able to find my 1 drop draw Jirens and the Kunchis, but I was not able to find any of the 4 drop, any of the 5 drop, or even the 1 drop to help search it. And I just kept digging and digging and digging, and couldn't find it. And then Axel was able to finish me off after grinding me out while wasting my resources to try and find the things I was after. So I ended up losing that one, 1-2. And at that point, I was like, it's fine if I just win one more game, at least make top 16 at least to get the double promo. And that's all I wanted to do, just win one more. And I ended up going to get a Never U7 against Chris Pup, and I took that one 2-0. This one was he hadn't played the Red Jiren before, so he didn't know exactly what all of it did, and he's trying to work it out. Like, he's taking his time to try and figure out what the best play was, because he never played against this matchup. And he was playing this was the one playing the two specified cost unison. So he's playing like the Vegeta unison and the everyone's. And this one I was able to take 2-0 because as long as I was able to keep raise up or just control through, and I was even just as soon as like U7 Jiren taps out, when I get to my turn 3 or turn 4 or whatever, as soon as he tap out, I just push in, and if they want to try and stop me, they're taking life to do it, or a lot of time they milled a super combos as well, which really helped. And so then I was like 7-1, happy with my result. Wasn't too much of a worry for the last game, knowing I probably would make top 16. And then my last round was against Green Boo, and this was probably the easiest matchup apart from the first matchup against AOD that I had today, because red just takes red like green apart. Because with the Boo as well, I think he hadn't played against Red Jiren, so he was doing things like attacking where I had the 1 drop board, which allowed me to evolve the 4 drop on his turn to get rid of his 1 drop after he played it, and he didn't go for my unison or reduce my unison, just went for my lead to try and aggro me down, which I was able to use things like Yamcha to minus his 4 drop when he got it out, so he never had it on board to keep his unison survive. But on game 1 he was able to stall out by using the negate Boos, the ones that make you you can negate attack, discard 1 and make it so you don't have to discard 2 if they want to continue attacking, which allowed them to push, get his 5 drop out turn on turn 5. That meant he tapped out, and given how Jiren works, I was able to get out the 1 drops for free, go into the 5 drop, a 4 drop to minus it, drop the 8 drop to get rid of the drop everything's out like Pan and Overarm, then drop the 8 drop Jiren, minus the Boo so it comes back out in active mode, so it's no longer making me discard 2 if I want to attack the leader, and then just push. And in game 2 I was able to get to a point where, like, he went first, I got to a point where I knew he was running the Topo Boo negates, so when I got to my turn 3 it was play the Crown Retribution because he left the energy open and look at his hand, so he had the Boo and an 8 discard from it, but I had my Resolve renewed, so I ripped out the super combo in his hand that drew a card, because he had 1 Android 18 super combo and 1 Boo super combo that drew, so I ripped that one out of his hand so he couldn't get any more new cards apart from his life. And Awakened went to swing with his lead with my unison, knowing he would on the first attack drop the Boo, Resolve renewed it so it didn't hit the board, so he tapped himself out, lost 2 cards from his hand, wasn't able to like put a floodgate out, and I just went ham and finished him off in that turn, just pummeling down. And that left me at the end going 7-1, only losing to the eventual winner, Axel, who had the same records at the end of it. There are 4 of us on X1, being myself, Big O, Giovanni and Axel, and due to tiebreakers, Axel came first, Giovanni came second, I came third, and Ollie came fourth. And that was fine because it got me in top 4, which I was happy with. And yeah, it placed me as the highest red decker there, like, and just had no trouble U7. Because Red Jiren, because I just feel Red Jiren is better than U7, because even though U7 is quite does have very strong plays, I feel Red Jiren is a lot better in the fact that it can be more aggressive than U7 can, and it can also as well be like also play later game like U7, but a lot easier with the barrier removal early, a lot better at barrier removal as well and pressure. But yeah, that's the result. So at the end of it, we ended up being able to go home, having like celebrate, and just yeah, get ready for the Sunday. So that's it for the Friday. It was a great event, ran very well. I didn't see many issues apart from the fact that it started late, just because registration, people getting a pass and stuff. But overall, it felt like it ran smoothly. I had loads of lovely opponents. I didn't have any issue with any of my opponents, which is nice. Like, they all played very well, very friendly, and very nice. And just had a fun time playing. Props to all of them for playing. Also, props to all our like 4 of us from our team went up as well on the Friday. All of us made top 16 at least. Me making 3rd, Ollie making 4th. Biscuit making 10th with his U7, Goku being the highest ranking U7 Goku on Friday, and then Andre making top 16th place with his red Broly BR as well. So congrats to our team -2, best team in the UK, and that's it. So thank you for watching. Hope this is enjoyable. With the actually, before I finish, I will go over the turn by turn play regression as well if people are interested in playing this. So with the deck, usually using your leader's effect to take a life as soon as possible, to look at top 7, get a U7, doesn't matter if it's Jiren or Kunchi, just to get like thin your deck through, get a draw or a search, and then trying to play your unison on turn 1, get using the plus up. If you do have a evolve, like if you did get a Jiren out and got a 4-drop, you can always evolve to get that 3rd marker to it, so it survives a little bit easier. And then end the turn. Resolve the +1 on Jiren, the player 1-drop from your hand, either get a search or a draw. And typically in the first turn, your opponent's playing like charging 1, and they're normally having like 1 or 2 attacks depending on what that kind of deck playing. And if they're going for your lead, that's great. You can it means that you can be able to awaken by turn 3, ready to aggro down. And if they go for unison, they're not doing anything. If they're going for your 1-drops, doesn't matter. They just come back, or you can evolve on top of them and make them to the 4-drop. And then turn 3 is normally when you want to establish a 5-drop on board and normally just attack once and restand it, so it's not in rest mode, so they can't attack into it, and give your leader, and that as well gets you evolve on your topo, so you can pressure with your lead and topo what our leaders on 10k. They're kind of pushing down, so you want to get them to 4 life at least, so you can finish off on turn 3 and add that 5-drop that either swing something at board or swing at the leader, just again only swing it at once, so it stays in active mode, so it's harder to get over. Because it has the permanent where if it were to be moved from your battle area by a skill, then you basically either detach 2 from under it, which would be a 1-drop and a 4-drop, or take a life instead. And if they're doing that, just make you take a life instead. That's helping you make sure you can awaken at turn 3. And if you don't want to do that and they're attacking your lead, you can always just try and evolve on the 4-drop first, to then -7 get a draw through, because the 4 and the 5-drop draw when they're evolved as well, which is fantastic to help you thin through your deck quicker. And it allows you to have 2 materials on it, detach 2 if you don't want to take a life. And then turn 3 is normally where you want to use 1 of your energy if you could awaken to use something, like either use a Credit Brown if they've got 2 energy open, using a Quetzalcoatl, or playing a 1-drop if need be. Like any way to use 1 energy, so when you awaken, because you want to evolve on the awaken side so you can get the auto limit 2 to gain 5k twice a turn when you evolve. So then you can go either 4 into 8 or 5 into 8, as long as you can get to 8-drop, and 8-drop allows you to get rid of something on their board, through barrier by minus it by 35k, normally something, yes, your barrier removal, and then apply a lot of pressure, and that gives you 2 evolves in your lead. When the 8 drop restands, it gives a leader 5k, make your leader k 30k base. But just make sure that when you drop the 8 drop, if you want to drop things like your overarm, Piccolo, or Pan, you do that before you go into the 8 drop, because the 8 drop, as soon as you evolve into it and its auto goes off, you can no longer play anything that is not a U11 for the turn. So you can still activate things like Yamcha to do the neg, but it won't play itself. Same with Resolve Renewed. You can use it to counterplay something, it just won't play itself, but it's still the rest of the effect will go off. But that's normally how it is, and then past that you just aggro him down and push him through even harder. Now that's it. That should help with the temporary progression, side deck explanation, and main deck explanation, and the round matchups as well. Feel free to like the video if you did enjoy it, and I will have the one for Sunday coming up tomorrow. Also, comment down below if there's anything you missed, any questions you have. I'll be happy to answer them as best as I can. Or if there's any choices you feel I might have missed or could try, then feel free. I do want to try this out without, like, in the non-unison build as well, because that seems quite interesting. Given the fact that we're getting a new Jiren TP, and just in case anybody does ask and gets this far and asks, like, what would I play, like, what would I take out or replace with the new Jiren TP? If I were playing this exact build here, I would take out the Kunchis from the new Jiren, because it does the same as Kunchi, just draws, but it does have the minus, but the draw's more important. And add that added bonus of instead of drawing, free playing at the top, so I can leave the energy open. This may, like, say, played a 5 drop over the evolve, sorry, on my after my turn 1, which is a lot better than the 4 drop. And but if I were to go with the unison, like the non-unison build, basically the unisons come out for the ever 1-drop Jiren, so you've got more Jiren 1-drops to start the evolve chain. But also, as well as that, feel free to subscribe if you're not already subscribed. It keeps you updated with my videos as and when they drop. And if you are subscribed, feel free to click the notification bell, and it'll give you alerts to when my videos drop, if and when they happen, when they do. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. It was useful, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye for now.